Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Understanding Japan. Today it's time for the first lesson. And as I said in my first video from yesterday, and for us to understand the Japanese society and the culture, we need to understand the language. Because how the language, or more like the three alphabets, have developed in Japan during the last 1,200 years has also affected the society in itself because of the meaning, because of the cultural influences from China, and also how the Japanese society adopted the Chinese and changed it into something unique that is completely their own. But for us to do that, we need to start with the first thing, and that is to learn the 46 basic sounds in the Japanese language. We could say that if we roll back a little bit in the history, 800 years, I'd say 1,200 years ago, the Chinese kanji signs came to Japan. I don't know, the picture, the idea of one symbol having a meaning, not a sound like in the like European alphabet where R is always R, but here you have one sign, and that could have a very big meaning or a short meaning, or be a symbol for like a special kind of mountain, or etc. etc. That system came to Japan, but very soon they start to realize that it was not enough. When they started to educate more and more to understand how this works, how you can write with the Chinese kanji, they start to realize this is not enough for us, because they speak a different language. They didn't speak Chinese. So they needed to adopt new signs that could represent their own, Japanese sounds. And then they started to develop something that in the end became the hiragana. And then the katakana. But hiragana and katakana, you will see that they both have the same 46 basic sounds, different signs, but it's the same 46 basic sounds. And we need to start with those. I would also say that when we start now with the hiragana, we start with the 46 basic sounds, but they're actually 104 in total, because then you have the combination signs and you have the dakuten, but we will take that later. Let's just start with the beginning. The table for hiragana is fairly simple and very straightforward. You start with the 5 basic sounds, and that is A, I, Ö, E, O. Very easy. Then underneath them comes the next 5, and then they are modifying it a little bit. They become Ka, Ki, Ku, Ke, Ko. That is very easy. You can understand this. And this way they make the sounds, go down for all the 46 sounds. And every row they try to do it so it's logical, so the sounds is similar for the extra. It's like you go from A, I, U, E, O, and then you put on the K, the Ka, Ki, Ku, Ke, Ko, and etc. etc. There is some exceptions of the rule a little bit down, but it's not too difficult. We will be able to learn that. Yeah, I think. But first, let us look in the big picture how they look. This is A. It's not very difficult. It has a rounded shape. It's easy to recognize it. And then we have I. This is easy. This is often one of the first things we can remember, because it's very straightforward. You can almost think like an I. Then we have the U. Well, sometimes you can see that it looks like a bird mouth, like something like that. And then we have the E. And in this one, E, I think that I can see an E in this, you make an E with all the spikes or something like that. And then we have the O. This one is a little bit difficult because the O and the A is very similar. As you look at this now, you can see these two. And if you read very fast, sometimes when you're not very good and have really learned hiragana, you can mix these two up. But we will come into them a little bit more because we will exercise a lot. Let's go down now to the table and start to write them. I will show you how you write them. Here we have a hiragana writing practice sheet. This one is very effective in able to improve your handwriting and become really efficient and proficient in writing hiragana, katakana, and later on even the kanji. This one is for free. You can find them. Please, you use the amazing tool that is called Google, and you just Google hiragana writing practice sheet or something similar like that. You will find many suggestions, and you can find your own for free system like this. So please Google that. I will not recommend anyone special because, well, you can find it yourself. So let's now see how it's work. Remember now I write from the left to the right, like the European style. But that is not the common thing in Japan. Normally, you read and write from the right to the left. But of course, many of these practice sheets are adapted for Westerners, and they have switched it to more similar like our way. I'm not sure this is a good idea. Maybe I should find some of these and we start practicing the right way, like they do in Japan. Because traditionally in Japan, if you see the historical documents, they even start from the right and then they write downwards in very beautiful lines like this. It's very beautiful, the old documents. But that is a traditional way and we will not do that. Let's be a little bit modern. First thing we will do is look at this. This practice sheet is very good, I think, because here you have the A and down here you have the E. And when we start with the A, the first line, as you see here now, they show the 4 stroke orders to do a A. And then you can practice a number of times all the way here. And you see, and then you do it again. This system of taking the big square and dissect it into 4 equal big one is for, of course, to be able to get the proportions right. And because the proportions is very important here. You can't have thinking something too big, too small, or too crooked, because then no one will really understand which hiragana is it. This is for you to be able to have the proportions right, the sizes right, to have all the small, what do you call it, spikes or small dots. Everything has to be in the right position. And the last line, of course, is without anything. It's really difficult. But let's start with the first one. I also want to remind everyone that my level of Japanese is very low today. 5 years ago, I studied in Tokyo, and then I would say my Japanese was pretty basic. But now, oh my God, I have so much. I have forgotten more than I feel like I ever learned. So let's try and do this right from the start. But bear in mind, I'm not a very good writer. First, to start first, as you can see, you always start with like the upper part of the T, like that. The important thing later is now we have to do the long line that will cross 3 times, be crossed 3 times. And this is important. You see, it's a little bit like a banana boat. It can be straighter. It doesn't have to be like a big banana, but a little bit of a barriga. Well, I was about to say, but that is Portuguese. I mean, a little bit of the stomach. This T is okay now, but here comes the most difficult thing with the A, and that is to do these in this egg, because my teacher always said to me that the shape has to be like an egg. More pointy here and a bigger button. And you do it in one stroke. and you have to be up here, and you have to have the small tail here. So let's see if I can do this again after 5 years. Start here, we go down and up, and like that. That was okay, but my teacher would not be proud of me, because you see my mistake here? This is a little bit too small, and the small point here is a little bit too small too. But it's okay. Japanese would say, yeah, it's an A, but not very good. Let's see if I can do a better one. That is not good either, because now you see what I did. This is very common. The egg shape is wrong now, because now you see the big egg stomach here, the bottom, is on the wrong side, and now it's pointed on the outside. That is not correct either. Let's see again. And there you have it. That is more a correct one, because now it's bigger here, more pointy here, and we have the small top here and the tail. Yeah, that is okay. Let's go down now to the next hiragana. Here we have the I. I is pretty basic. It's actually just 2 lines. They are not parallel, as you can see, and that is important too, because the left one has to be bigger, and the right one is a bit smaller. And the the right one has to have that little hook. This hook is from the, ink and dip pen days. This is like, I think that it's meant to be like, it's actually 2 lines, but since you draw here and you jump up and go down here again, you become the ink does that little spike, and then it becomes like, oh yes, you have to have the spike even though you use any kind of pen. But let's see, we need the proportions again. You see, we have the middle. The upper part is almost the same heights, but this one has to be lower and have the spike. And let's start here. We need to do this. Go down, a small spike, and have the right one like that. Go down, small spike, right one. I feel I have a little bit problem with my table, because I have a wooden table, and I can feel all these small, what do you call it, the fibers. But as you can see, the E it's pretty basic. As long as you just do it a little bit bigger and the right one is smaller, then it's okay. As you see. Okay, that was E. Now take U. U has a beautiful shape. I don't know why. I always love the shape of it. It's like a feminine. I don't know. It feels very feminine. But here we have. It's 2 strokes again. You have a small starting stroke up here, and then you need to have this beautiful shape. And you see, it's very centered. It's centered in the middle, and you have to starting like a faster curve and then a long out. I think this is the beautiful curve. Let's see if I can do this. Start with a small one up there, and then the beautiful shape. That was not beautiful enough. I really need to have a better pen. Let's try again. First a small one, and then do the beautiful shape. That's okay. I don't like my pen. But this hiragana U is, yeah, the memory sets in very fast. You can do it very fast. Yes, U. After that, we have the E. This one I always liked. It looked like, like sorrow. Yeah, the Sea of Sorrow. This actually, again, it looks complex, but it actually only have 2 stroke orders. You have the same start as in the with the small stroke up here, but then you have to do like almost like a C. And you have to do it like sharp and hard, like sorrow, zup, zup, but round it here, so almost like a H, a small H. Let's try it. Here again, to the upper one, and now sharp, sharp, and then soft. Again, the upper one, and sharp, sharp, and then the soft. It should be a little bit longer like that. This is pretty fun to make. I don't know why. I feel like sorrow every time. This is all one also everyone will recognize, even if you change it a little bit, the shape of it, and if you do it a little bit, you work fast, everyone will recognize this sound. Well, let's go for the last one now. This is the O. This is the problem. The O, you see the shape here, and then we go all the way up to the A. You see the difference. You see that they're a bit similar, and you can sometimes, if you do flashcards, memory tests, you can, what do you call it? You miss them, think that they're the same. This is a 3-stroke order. The A is a 4-stroke order, but this is a 3-stroke order. But you have, look here, you have the egg again. Let's try it. First of all, you start with like the T, the upper part of the T, and now, let's see, you go down like this, and then a sharp, and then the egg form, and then you end it with a small. Look at that, I can still do this. The problem here again is that you have to have the proportions right, because here again it's very easy to not have the pointed end of the egg here, and maybe the bottom will get very far down like this, or too small like this. You have to have, you see, the proportions. Don't forget this one, the small sign up here too. Wow, that was all for the practice. Well, that was not too difficult. I hope you enjoyed my very humble attempt of writing hiragana again. As I said, it has been 5 years since I was in Tokyo. But I need a better pen now. I realized that this old school style pen is not very good. The point is, it's a very hard point. It's very easy to, you don't get the really smooth strokes. I need to go and buy a better pen. But it was fun for me too, this. Tomorrow we will continue with the next 5, then it's Kaki, Ku, Keiko. And I will go through them first again, and then we do the writing on a practice sheet. I really recommend, if you want to really study Japanese and learn the hiragana, katakana, and kanji, and then we'll come to the grammar, and then we will do words and stuff like that, vocabulary. Well, you need to practice. I would say at least 30 minutes every day. I would say 1 hour is the minimum, but somewhere around there. If you practice 8 hours every day, of course, then you will learn Japanese very fast. Even though it's a language that really it really needs you to focus. It's easy to start speaking, to just have some vocabulary and some phrases. You can speak Japanese. The sound is not difficult, and you can learn it easy. I mean, but the problem is to write it. That is, when I was in Tokyo, I met people there who lived in Tokyo for a couple of years who spoke pretty good Japanese, but they couldn't write Japanese because they never studied it. They only learned the vocabulary, so they couldn't read and write Japanese, and then you become very handicapped. Because believe me, Japan is a country you need to read and learn and to be able to write in Japanese. Never know. Now I'm rambling about anything else. This was all for this lesson. Tomorrow we will do, as I said, Kaki Kukeko. And well, hope you like this video and see you tomorrow. Goodbye.